Dean, we'll start with you here.
Yeah.
Champ is a horse that divides a lot of opinion.
Yeah.
A lot of opinion. There's people saying he can't win. There's people saying he'll win a Gold Cup. Where do you stand in the Champ argument?
Anyone who listens to the race, I think I started the season by saying I'd lay him every time he ran over fences. Only got lucky once.
Yeah. Why?
Why? You know, I didn't really like him as a novice. I didn't like him in his flashy style. He didn't seem to have a lot of substance about him. I think I've been proved a little bit wrong about him, in fairness. He looks to have a super engine. He got Barry out of trouble the last day when he just comes round and beat Black Op. I don't think he gets the landing gear down right. Now, I'm no rider of horses, but they seem to come down at a funny angle, and I think he's a bit dopey. And so maybe that fall will wake him up. And if it does, his engine is good enough to win the RSA.
So are you tipping him?
No, I'm definitely not tipping him.
Oh.
I still think there's a dozy mistake in him. So at 3-1, I'm happy to let him go. I'm against Champ. The horse, I just want to ask the lads if there's any chance that Sam Crow runs in this, because that was my long-term fancy for it, and it's all gone kind of pear-shaped. But if he did turn up, I'd back Sam Crow in an RSA. He's probably not going to go. He's
having Dave Wells just there on the Racehour podcast. I've had to tell him about 20
times
times
he's
not
not
running
every
in the
single
RSA.
podcast. If he runs here, I'll back him. I don't fancy for Marsh. I think he needs a big trip. So the horse that I've come down to at the prices now, because I do want to find a price in here, is Black Op. Who, if you look back, if you got to go back a little bit, second to Sam Crow in a good race, second to Santini in a good race, the back numbers are definitely there with Black Op. He did get beat by Champ last day, but Champ maybe can beat himself. So Black Op, I think he's 16, 18 to 1, something like that. He's my each way pick for the race. In a race where you could fancy the top three, Cophead I don't think will go. There's 3 horses to beat. I think Black Op will get close enough.
Okay, so Black Op for Dean Ryan. Diarmuid, this is, when you go through this race, you say to yourself, if Champ, Minella Indo, Allaho, Copperhead, Faugheen, Battle Over Diane, Easy Game, if they all show up, it could be a classic.
It could. I mean, William Mullins, you doubt now he's going to send all 3 of them there. Actually, me and you would have had a bit of a disagreement on Twitter about Champ, I think, wasn't it, before Christmas?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you were wrong.
I know. I think he's a big dope that needs to be told on every single fence what he's doing. There was no excuse for him to fall in the Dipper. There was absolutely none. He had that race.
Well, there's no better man riding him.
Top of the game fell and he went on and won an RSA.
But he's not improving run to run in his jumping. He seems to be deteriorating. And going into
disagree.
Cheltenham off the back of a fall. Now, in fairness to Dipper, most of the fences, he got them probably half right. But like, you're going into Cheltenham off the back of a fall and a horse who hasn't put together one decent round yet of jumping.
Yes, he has.
He hasn't put it together.
I disagree. I think he's a decent jumper.
He's
Go on,
anyway,
go on.
The second day, he had to get up past Black Op because he jumped like a table.
He made one mistake.
And then his third run, he absolutely went through one when he had the race absolutely sewn up.
He's a novice. He's a novice.
He's a novice going into the festival off a fall. I couldn't have him for much.
Right, go on. What do you fancy?
Minella Indo wins this. I think the way that he won the Albert Bartlett last year with nearly an identical prep, you would have liked for him to have another run, but that's been the plan by Henry de Bromhead all season. He'll be jumping about 200 fences a day anyway, so that won't be a problem for him. And he's 4-1 here, and I just think the way that he put Allaho away twice. Now I know I asked David about this before the race, and David did say that he was a big frame of a horse and he has filled out since, but I still think Minella Indo outstayed him twice rather convincingly. I don't think Champ gets around, and I think Indo wins.
Okay, so Minella Indo for Diarmuid Nolan. David, Allaho is a horse that looked really, really impressive last time, and Willie has said that he runs here. He's a real keen-going, enthusiastic type, isn't he?
No. He is a bit. In a race, he does a bit much.
Yeah, right.
Home is
Fair
not
enough.
bad.
I always thought he was a big galloper. 3 mile is his job. Think he's a bit like the big getaway. He needs to pull himself together, jump a little bit better. I'd say if you stood beside the fences in Leopardstown, you'd know what a crunch means. Like after it, he looked like he bellied every one of them. All he does is he's just so big, just bends his legs, doesn't jump. I'm not.
Willie said he's the best jumper in the yard.
Yeah, you know now, Mike, what that means.
Oh, he did. He did say that. I read that.
You know what that means, don't you? Yes or no?
He gets to the far side quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Minella Indo for me. I don't think there's much difference in ability between the two of them, but I think Henry has put this race out for Minella Indo, and I think that's going to be the winning factor.
Okay, so 2 votes for Minella Indo. Mikey.
Yeah, Minella Indo, I'd say as well. Toss of a coin, Allaho. Just let me down a couple of times. You bet him a couple of times last year, and yeah, I don't know where Faheen goes. Easy game. No, I couldn't have. It'd be Minella Indo. I just think he's very tough. Rachel was chatting to him about her, and she said he's just only does enough the whole time, and I love those type of horses in 3 mile races, so I'll stick with him.
Where are you with Champ?
Champ, yeah. I'm not sure, to be honest. Does Nicky Henderson and JP have a good record with staying chasers? Like, you know, I don't think, does Nicky have one? Bar Bobsworth. That's why the long run. I don't know. He could win it, but I haven't followed him enough. But Gertie is going to produce a little bit of magic over there on 1 or 2 yokes, and he could be the one.
Okay.
Dave, sorry, I forgot to mention Champ. You are wrong now.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Why am I wrong?
Diarmuid is right. He doesn't jump.
You don't think he jumps well?
No, well, he's been a complete dope. Yeah.
Barry has to tell him at every fence.
I'm with Dave.
Barry-
I'd love to go. I wouldn't mind the fall at all.
It's not the fall. Watch him run in Newbury.
Barry has to tell him at every single fence.
No, but that's
into it.
Barry Gertie sometimes. He could do that.
It's not. He's quiet
on-
the horse.
he
He
could
is
do that
very
on
quiet.
Wednesday.
Fences, champions.
Jason, no, I disagree with you.
No, but
We're all pondered.
the fall will crown him. I wouldn't be worried about that at all.
Maybe the fall will crown him now, but
And I
he
agree
doesn't
with you,
jump well.
David. He could win. Is he the classiest horse in the race? Maybe, I don't know.
Don, you have the casting vote.
I don't not like Champ.
Uh-oh. I know.
But,
There's a big buck
I
coming
think
here.
Minella Indo's a better horse. I think his credentials are better. Like Minella Indo won the Albert Bartlett Hurdle last year, leading from the 3rd last flight of hurdles on the new course at Cheltenham. Like that's some feat. They finished 9th leading at the 3rd last fence or flight, and he stayed. And Allaho came at him, and maybe he outstayed him, but he was a 50-1 shot. He was a maiden going into the race, and then he went to Punchestown, and he was weak in the market at Punchestown as well. Allaho was put in as favourite in front of him, despite the fact that Minella Indo beat him at Cheltenham, and Minella Indo drifted at Punchestown. And he beat him again. Like I just think this horse has been underrated all his life. He ran a hell of a race against Lorena at Goran Park on his first run this season, his first chase over 2.5 miles. And then last time he won over 3 miles and people, beginner's chase, people said, he wasn't impressive. But if you watch it again, he actually, when Rachel Blackmore went for him, he picked up again, he jumped the last well and he stayed on well. And then Captain CJ came out and won the 10-up chase next time. So it was a hell of a run. It was only his 2nd run. Last season he grew into the season and kept on progressing over hurdles. It looks like he's doing the same this season. Henry de Brum had said the RSA chase from very early on in the season, it was never a Marsh chase or a JLT or a National Hunt chase. It was always the RSA. And Cheltenham Festival winning form, I just think he's got all the credentials. Whereas Champ is a classy horse and he won a Sefton hurdle as well. And that 2nd last fence at Cheltenham where he fell, that's a tricky fence just after the bend. So I'd forgive him that. But I just think, and he might be a classy horse in Minella Indo, but I think as things stand, the case for Minella Indo is stronger. And he's a bigger price. That doesn't make. I think he should be a shorter price than Champ.
That's fair enough. Across the line then, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 votes for Minella Indo. Sam, what do you like?
We'll put Minella Indo to 11-2 for the next 5 minutes if anyone wants to get involved.
11-2 from 4-1.
Yeah, it's the
You're going to have to get an account, Mikey.
industry best price, and you get non-runner no bet as well if anything happens.
11-2 with
So you get
BetVictor.
5 minutes, guys. Go.
Minella Indo. And Dean, you are a Black Op fan.
Yeah, but I'll have a bit of that 11-2, I think.
So 11-2 with BetVictor.